Stop the war. That was the cry from these protesters outside Downing Street on the eve of the Commons vote on military action against Syria. But after a day of tense calculations and negotiations, British backing for military action may not have been stopped, but for now it's been put on hold. In a major climb down by David Cameron, the government motion to be debated says, before any direct British involvement in such action, a further vote of the House of Commons will take place. In response to the chemical attack in Damascus last week, the government's motion also appears to give United Nations weapons inspectors more time and backs efforts to get a new UN resolution, moves demanded by Labour. Yet earlier, action to curb President Assad's chemical attacks was of the utmost urgency, according to the Foreign Secretary.
It is important to respond to what has happened. I think it's very important not to take so long to respond that people confuse what the eventual response is about. It's very important for a regime like the Assad regime to know that there is a clear response when they cross such an important line.
Are we going to attack Syria, Mr. Hammond?
Mr. Hague was speaking after a meeting of the National Security Council, which heard defence chiefs outline the options for military action in Syria. Number 10 said ministers at the meeting were unanimous in favour of the government's strategy. But some opposition frontbenchers remember Iraq.
Obviously, my default is to support my leader, but we know what can happen with getting involved in these situations in the Middle East. Many people who voted for Iraq out of loyalty to Tony Blair regret it today.
And public opinion is strongly against British involvement in Syria in the constituencies of the Labour leader and the Prime Minister.
I think we've been too involved in Iraq, we've been too involved with the Americans, too involved with Afghanistan.
No money to look after our health service and goodness knows what else. We can't afford it, and what's more, morally, I think it's wrong.
We don't want to get involved in it and it lasting for years and then having to pull out and have achieved nothing.
It's more bloodshed for this country. And at the end of the day, we went into Iraq and that was a farce.
But it's now only a matter of hours before MPs recalled to the Commons hear Mr Cameron present his case ahead of the big vote. John Craig, Sky News.